Hello everyone. So this video I really want to explain my experience with narcolepsy and just kind of maybe spread more awareness about it. But before I get into that, I'm gonna do a quick recap of how we're doing with the fundraiser so far. So I'm gonna take off my glasses because and we can actually see my eyes. But right now we are doing a t-shirt fundraiser. We're really hitting it hard this spring because we want to really get moving towards that goal. Right now we are at 2,000 out of the 14,000. Thank you to everyone who's donated so far and shared or liked any of the posts or any videos that have been made. I really do appreciate it, and I am super excited with how things are going. Bakugo is doing really well, and so is Kanga in training and preparing to get ready for him to come. And for those t-shirts, I made a bonfire t-shirt store. I really like them because the t-shirts are ethically sourced and sustainably sourced, and so that way I can feel better about selling the t-shirts, and I really like them. They're comfortable and they seem to be of good quality. I've worn them for actually a couple months now, and they're some of my favorite shirts that I've actually ever had. And I was gonna wear one for this video, but I forgot. So yeah. But huge shout out to CiCi Rains. Well, her name's CiCi, and she has an ASMR video channel or YouTube channel, and I love how she just makes it so relaxing. Even just her voice is relaxing, but she does other stuff in her ASMR videos. But I love that she actually has agreed to wear one of my shirts in her YouTube video, and it made me so happy because I really do love her work, and I'm excited to see where this goes. So I know a lot of people don't see my videos, but for those few people who do because they accidentally found this narcolepsy channel or they know me, go check out CiCi Rain's YouTube channel. I'm going to try and leave a link somewhere in the video or maybe in the description just so you can find her. If nothing else, if this video was a waste of your time, you're still going to be grateful because you'll be like, wow, I found CiCi Rain's YouTube channel. So when it comes to narcolepsy, the big thing for me, I think, is the feeling tired, and it's hard to describe that feeling. A lot of people have tried to describe it, and the way that I've seen it described before, I'm gonna also leave links to these websites and references so that way you know I'm not just spouting it off. But I've heard from many narcolepsy organizations and websites that narcolepsy is equivalent to the feeling of, they estimate, a normal person going 72 hours or 3 days without sleep. And I believe that's consecutive. And so that kind of puts it into perspective. I'm gonna be honest, I used to really put myself down for feeling tired. Especially as a kid, I was like, well, I must be normal, so maybe everyone else is feeling this and I just need to toughen up. But then I had people describe how they love the mornings, and I was like, okay, if you feel this tired, there's no way you love the mornings. Like, that's impossible. So that's when I kind of got a little suspicious, right? And then I remember in my teenage years, that's when stuff really started getting suspicious. Like, I was always tired as a kid. You know, most parents are like, oh, my kids woke me up. I was that kid that was like, can we please sleep in on Christmas morning? Because I just loved sleep. Sometimes people would ask me, what do you want for your birthday? And I'd say, I want to be able to sleep for the whole day and not have to wake up. That was my dream birthday gift. And so I don't know how I didn't suspect narcolepsy before. I always thought maybe it was a vitamin B12 issue, and yeah, I knew about that as a kid because my dad is a nurse, so we talk about this at dinner time. It was fun. But I always just thought it was just going to be something minor like that, and one day a doctor would believe me and we'd figure out the cure, and boom, I'd turn into a morning person. That was my plan. But then I started in high school. You know, doctors would just be like, I don't know what it is. I don't know. And in high school, I started falling asleep in class. It was kind of awkward. Most teachers were fine about it because I get my work done and it's not like I'm disrupting anybody. I don't snore. I don't talk in my sleep. I literally would just, like, my head would fall. Every once in a while I'd hit my head on the desk, so I guess that's like a little disruptive. But there was a couple teachers that, I think they were offended by it, which, I mean, I can kind of see because it probably appeared rude, that they were like, how dare you sleep in my class? And I tried to explain to them that I truly am not trying to sleep on purpose. But it got to the point where in the classes where they were chill with it, I would purposely finish my work and try and do it right the first time, so that way I could just sleep for the rest of class. Like, that is what motivated me to finish my homework, was so that, you know, if I finish my homework, I can sleep. And I also knew if I went home, I was going to fall asleep on the couch and never get it done, because I also have ADHD, and so I was like, if I don't do it now, it's not going to get done. So I am super grateful for those teachers that were like, hey, if you finish your homework in class, you get to sleep. And I was like, done deal. That is awesome. But narcolepsy, the reason why we're so tired, there's a lot of reasons, but they talk about, if you read some medical journals, hypocretin, which is in a normal person's brain, and it has been found to help with the regulating of sleep cycles. So a normal person, right, they'll sleep throughout the night, there's different stages of sleep. We've got the first stage, like REM 1, and then we've got REM 2, and then we've got REM 3, and we've got, no, sorry, they're not all called REM, sorry. So you got stage 1, stage 2, stage 3, and REM. That was spicy, guys. I took a sleep issues class. Wow. I think my brain's going to sleep right now. Anyway, so yeah, there's a stage 1, stage 2, stage 3, and REM sleep. And most people get the regular amounts, right? Well, with narcolepsy, it's all over the place, and you're being woken up at night, and then during the day, you're falling asleep. And someone put, it's a meme on Pinterest that I found that says, narcolepsy, you can't fall asleep anywhere at night, but you can fall asleep anywhere during the day. And I was like, that is so true. It was something along those lines. And so I feel like that sums it up pretty well. I tell people it's like my body's literally craving it. Like, every muscle in my body is just craving sleep, especially harder on some days than others. Like, so one day we were picking up my brother from the airport and I decided, even though I don't even think it was that early, like, I mean, it was kind of, in my defense, it was kind of early. It was like 10 or 11 a.m. maybe. I can't remember. But my mom, she's awesome. She's a lady that's got all her stuff together, okay? Like, she's just always well dressed, always ready, always on time, early even. And we're going to the airport, the Salt Lake City airport, right? And I'm like, I am not changing out of my jammies for this. So I literally went in my jammies, and because I wanted to sleep on the way there, say hi to my brother, welcome him back into the folds of our arms, and then go back to sleep on the way back home. That was my plan. That was the total plan. And all of a sudden, the newscast. I've never been asked to be on the news before in my entire life. And I don't remember what channel it was for, but one of the crew members came up to me and asked to interview me. And sometimes, I don't know, maybe other people with narcolepsy don't feel this way, but sometimes I'm just too tired to care when I probably should. And so I was like, sure, go for it. If you want to put the girl in her pajamas on the news, why not? And so, yeah, my only viewing on the news ever that I know of is in my pajamas, because I was craving sleep so hard. I was like, I'm going to do everything within my power to be extra comfy so I can sleep at any moment in this experience. So that's my fun little news story there. But I do appreciate when people are like, no, jammies are totally fine everywhere, because they're so comfy. And like if you're gonna fall asleep either way in a situation, it's kind of nice to be comfy. So I also used to fall asleep at work, which is actually one of the reasons why I'm fundraising for a service dog, because sometimes, and there's varying degrees of, maybe someone has a more mild form of narcolepsy, sometimes it's more severe. I personally can't treat my narcolepsy to the extent that most people can, so I have a lot of allergies. A lot. Just, yeah, as an example, I'm allergic to wheat, barley, rye, green peas, corn, that's a big one, fluoride, so, it just kind of builds up, and for some reason I'm having some reactions to these medications, and so I'm not able to take those medications that others might be able to, and so that's why I'm looking into getting a service dog, because I was at work, right, and I loved working in optometry and ophthalmology. I was a diagnostic tech and an optician, and I was just falling asleep sometimes mid-sentence with the patient. Thankfully, they didn't notice, because at the time when I was testing, they were focused on the test. But one time, I think when I finally gave in to the idea of getting a service dog was around the time when I was with a patient. They were doing the test, they were even talking to me, I was talking to them, and because I was fighting the sleep, right, my eyes start crossing if I fight it so bad, but my body's trying to shut down, and it was really embarrassing, because I just, but now it's funny in hindsight, right, some things are funny, but on the visual field machine that tests your vision, you can look it up, that machine, if you want to know what it really looks like, if it's just burning a hole in your soul, but the patient was looking in the test, and I literally just hit my head on the table. And so the patient, I don't know, I didn't want to pick up the patient, and so the patient was like, whoa, what was that? And I was like, oh, I just had to adjust something. So, and they bought it, because they were so focused on the test, so, yes, thank goodness. But that's around the time I was like, okay, maybe I need a service dog. So I can stay awake at work and know when to, know beforehand so I don't hit my head, because I did hit my head on the bus as a child. I think Anna is an adult too, yeah. There have been times when I was on the bus, because I used to be like, oh, I'm too tired to drive, let's take the bus, and on my mission, or at school, even when I was a teenager, I would take the bus, and like, I don't know, it's just, you're in a car, right? And even if you're trying to do homework, but I get car sick, or you're trying to stay awake, you try leaning your head in different ways so you don't fall asleep, but I fell asleep. It's just something about being on a bus that I don't know. I bet, like, if anyone's on, watches this and they don't have narcolepsy or any other sleep condition, like, be honest with me, like, does riding on the bus not make you more sleepy? I just feel like that's like a very sleep-inducing situation. It's just very sleep-inducing. That's how I'm going to describe it. But I was on the bus, and then I was fighting sleep so hard, and I could tell because everything started looking double because my eyes were crossing so much. And then I literally just went and hit my head on the seat. I remember at the time I was super embarrassed because one of the guys that I liked was on the bus, but now I'm older and I don't care, and I think it's funny. But yeah, with narcolepsy, sometimes your body not only craves sleep, but your body's like, hey, we're going to bed. Hope you come too. So, and some people experience different symptoms when it comes to that, like maybe their heart rate will lower, or their cataplexy starts really acting up, which I'm going to explain cataplexy in a different video. But narcolepsy is characterized by, even if that person's awake, they're probably really tired. When I was taking the narcolepsy medications, before the allergic reactions got too bad, they did help. Like, it felt like instead of going 72 hours without sleep, it felt like just going 24 hours without sleep. So that's one thing that I think is important, that even if someone with narcolepsy, even when they're medicated, they're still pretty tired, so it's always good to be kind. And no matter what situation, even if, I think that just shows that why we need to be kind to everyone, because even if someone doesn't have a medical condition, whether it's mental or physical, everyone goes through hard stuff, right? Everyone. So definitely important to be kind, and it's just something I wanted to bring up because I've heard people say, well, people with narcolepsy are fine because then they'll just take medicine and then they just, get over it. And I'm like, definitely it's good sometimes to have a positive view, but also good to recognize that, hey, they're probably still tired. So, yeah. If you have questions, leave them down below. If anyone watches this, go ahead and write any questions that you have, and I'll see if I can answer them. If not, the great Google and all of its wisdom, with all of its many opportunities, might be able to enlighten us, which I'm sure that's how I know most of this. And collage. Collage is pretty good, but yeah. I definitely appreciate anyone watching this, and